Living on Mars is like living in Antarctica, but worse. You can breathe in Antarctica, but you can't breathe on Mars. The Mars atmosphere is 100 times thinner than the Earth's atmosphere and mostly made up of carbon dioxide, which is toxic to humans. More so, colonizing Mars is a project that will cost around $100 billion to some few $trillion. A sum that will prove to be the most expensive project ever in human history. That's at a risk of never making a profit too.
Unavoidably.
Nevertheless, Elon Musk is as motivated as ever before, since he first announced his dreams and plans in 2002 to make humans multiplanetary beings. So, what's Elon Musk's plan to colonize Mars? And what's driving him and SpaceX to continue with the mission with all the seemingly insurmountable hurdles and the risk of never making a profit from his venture? If you're new to this channel, please click on the subscribe button to watch more fascinating videos on futuristic tech. Now, let's move on to the main thing. When Elon Musk first mentioned his dreams and plans to colonize Mars, it seemed like a far-fetched dream to so many because it seemed such an insurmountable goal to achieve. However, a lot of doubters are slowly turning to believers since he and SpaceX started sharing a concrete plan of how they plan to achieve and getting some concrete results. One of the most pivotal achievements that turned most fence-sitters to believers is the major breakthrough in the development of the Starship, a cargo spaceship which is designed to carry up to 100 passengers with their luggage and transport them to space and back. The Starship is designed to refuel and relaunch using liquid hydrogen and methane, which is different from what other rockets use. Methane because it burns cleaner without leaving any residue build up in the engine, which means the engine can be reused multiple times without the need for refurbishment, and also because since the Starship is built to transport passengers to Mars and back, which will eliminate the need to make major refurbishment on the rocket every time a round trip is achieved, thereby reducing the cost of space travel significantly. Another reason methane is being used is because, obviously, when people are transported to Mars, the space rocket will have to make it back to Earth somehow. So, where do they get the fuel to power the ship back down? Well, from Mars itself. The atmosphere of Mars is made up of 95% carbon dioxide, and fortunately, methane can be made from carbon dioxide, and hopefully the water and ice they'll get from the Mars core. So, it makes total sense. Now, while a breakthrough in the development of a reusable rocket is surely a big achievement towards the goal of space exploration and the colonization of Mars, the fact is, it's still a tiny part of the whole equation. So, what is the Elon Musk plan and timeline for taking humans to Mars, building a city and civilization there? First, the Starship is not ready to fly yet, and a lot still needs to be done to get it ready to convey a crew to space. And part of those things that need to be done is to work on the next stage of the Starship test, which will include the testing of the rocket booster, which has been done successfully, and the first high-altitude testing to a height of about 50,000 feet, which is slated to be carried out this month of December 2020. And scheduled for 2021 is the real deal. According to Jonathan Hoffler, SpaceX Vice President of Commercial Sales, the first commercial flight with the Starship is slated to hold somewhere in 2021. However, the goal of the commercial flight is not to convey people to space, instead to send one of the Starlink commercial satellites into Earth's orbit. While this may not look like a lot since Falcon 9 has achieved this several times, it will go a long way in proving that the Starship will be able to carry out the future mission of carrying people to space and back. And in 2022, SpaceX and Elon Musk plan to build just on that by sending the Starship to carry some cargo to Mars. The year 2022 will especially be pivotal for this mission because every 2 years, Mars and Earth become closer to each other, 2022 being the next year for that to happen. And this is important because it will be reducing the time required to take the rocket to Mars from Earth to about 6 months or a year at most, thereby reducing the amount of fuel needed to reach the red planet. Elon Musk's plan is to send 2 Starships carrying mining, power, and life support infrastructure to Mars, which will be used to set the ground ready for future flights. and part of the plan is to also embark on a quest to find water and discover possible hazards of landing a rocket on the red planet. However, somehow the 2022 timeline is looking more unlikely to happen, and they may have to wait till 2024, when the special occurrence between Earth and Mars happens again to do just that. If you have been following SpaceX and their space exploration mission for a while, then there's a higher chance that you must have heard of Yusaku Maezawa, the Japanese billionaire who booked all the seats in the Starship to take him and his crew on a trip around the moon. Well, 2023 will be the year he actualizes his dreams, and that will be done using the Starship. While the moon is not Mars, if successful, it will be a huge step forward in further proving the Starship's capability for future missions, and it will open a lot of questions that, when solved, will serve as a huge boost to the success of future missions.
Well, I suppose that's true.
And 2024 will be one of the most important years for both Elon Musk, SpaceX, and the whole of the space community in general. Assuming Elon Musk is successful at sending the infrastructural cargo to Mars in 2022, then the next plan will be to send 2 more cargo ships and 2 cruise ships to Mars in 2024. The crew's task will be to set up some infrastructure, including a propellant production plant to create methane and liquid oxygen, the fuel for the Starship. From the combination of Martian water, carbon dioxide, they will extract from the atmosphere, and ice and use the final product to fuel the Starship back to Earth. The second task of the crew will be to use solar-powered hydroponics, a kind of technology that is used to grow plants without the need for soil to grow more foods. This will help answer one of the important questions critics are asking about possible colonization of Mars. What will we eat? Well, that's a great question, among other great questions like what will we drink? How do we breathe? And what about the harmful radiations? Those questions will have to be answered emphatically if the colonization is ever going to happen. Even though Elon Musk was recorded answering the question about the radiation in a conference, saying the radiation won't be that harmful to humans, he has also made it clear that his main goal is to create a transportation system, and how to solve the challenges of forming a colony on the red planet and perhaps other planets will be left for others to solve. Talking about the colony, Musk thinks 2025 will be the earliest point we will see the Mars colony take shape, in another 7 to 10 years for the first bases to take shape. According to Paul Wooster, the head of SpaceX's Mars development engineers, the idea would be to expand out, start off not just with an outpost, but grow into a larger base, not just like there are in Antarctica, but really a village, a town growing into a city, and then multiple cities on Mars. That's a big goal, and we can't wait to see it happen. And even if Elon Musk has said that there's a 70% chance that he'll visit Mars in his lifetime to see the developing colony. If everything plays out as planned and Elon Musk is able to colonize Mars successfully, it may be the beginning of the attempt to colonize other planets in the solar system. After all, the Starship is built to be an interplanetary ship, and it will be a great step in preserving human civilization, in case we find a way to wipe ourselves out on Earth, either through the Third World War, a chronic global pandemic, or an Earth collision with a meteor. Whichever way it is, humans can start looking at the future through a positive lens of hope and excitement. If you like this video, you may also enjoy our full playlist on SpaceX.